Morning Dish.
He's the hardest working man in show business. His band's music takes you into the midnight hours. And when you wake up, his voice is back on your radio alarm clock. How on earth did this happen?
Well, Jeff saw me taking out the trash at the radio station, and I won an award.
It's the Morning Dish with the 2017 Radio Personality of the Year award winner, Stephen Phillips.
Well, my daddy told me one day I'd amount to something.
And Murphy's own Sherry Raines.
Stephen, be ready, because I can dish it out.
Well, my problem is I can't take it.
And Packy Smith is a winner, too.
Are we all aware that 2017 was a few years ago?
Well, all right.
He's not in radio for the money, just the glory.
You have got to get Stephen Phillips off the radio. He has lost it.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All right, joining us this morning, Chris Turner, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Man, we hate to get you out of the bed so early, but we're glad you're there. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm good. Living the American dream. Can't complain. Blessed more than I deserve. And I figure if ain't nobody kicking dirt on me and I ain't skull crushing zombies, it's a really good day.
There you go. Hey, that Packy's all about the zombie stuff. He's worried about the apocalypse coming in with all the zombie stuff. So I believe I could outrun them dang zombies. You know, you watch that stuff on TV and they just kind of drag around. I believe I could outrun them. But hey, this new album you got, American Made. Tell us about it. Yeah, I love the name, American Made. I love the name.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, that particular project, I'm really proud of it. You know, there was a time there, and I think we had a conversation yesterday. There was a time in my life there to where I was, you know, I've been in Nashville for right at 10 years. And, you know, we call it a 10-year town. I think it takes 5 years to find yourself as an artist, and then another 5 to connect all the dots, right? So,
well, the reason you
right
can't
there
find
about
yourself...
that 5-year mark, I was sitting there trying to figure out who I was, and I was going through a lot. And, you know, with me being a United States Marine Corps veteran, I was like, you know what? The Marine Corps really shaped my life and turned me into the guy that I am.
Right.
So I need to use that for my platform, and my fellow Marines and fellow soldiers and fellow servicemen and women and our veterans that, you know, are looking for, you know, whether it's counseling for PTSD or looking for an outlet or something like that. So I was sitting in Birmingham, Alabama, and I wrote this. I had Trent Thompson, who's a friend of mine. He had told me, he's like, you need to sit in a room, you just need to write one-liners. Don't try to write a song, just write one-liners. And I wrote like 7 pages of one-liners. And the first line on those 7 pages was, I'm a worn-out needle in a vinyl groove. Right. And the next line was, I'm more than just faded ink, I'm your first tattoo. So I went through all 7 pages of those, and then one of those lines in there was about being American-made. And I was like, man, there's my album project.
There you go.
So I came up with a whole compilation of about 6 or 7 songs that I wanted for this project. And the song that I was telling you that I was writing, the name of it's Who I Am. So in that song, I described who I was. So I went through all song selections and figured out stuff that was just like explained who I was and who I am as an artist. Yeah. And that's where it developed from. And it's, you know, one of the songs on it called If You Drink, I did not write. It landed in my lap, and it was written by John Cirillo, Sarah Shepard, Dan Reifsnyder. And whenever I heard that song, it just is the epitome of, you know, the way a lot of people feel. So I reached out to a friend of mine, Randy Couture, who was a UFC fighter, and he's really big with the Extreme Couture GI Foundation that he founded for veterans with PTSD.
Right.
And asked him if he'd be interested in being a part of the video. And he listened to the song, and I gave him my storyboard and a vision for it, and he's like, yeah, man, I'd love to do it, and I'd love to direct it.
Yeah, he's a UFC
we
fighter.
Cut the video, and, you know, Forbes did an article on us, and we got it out there, and I think we had close to 100,000 hits on it across all social media platforms. So I'm very fortunate to have that project and be a part of it. I'm really proud of it.
The only thing on that one song, If You Drink, though, it says if you cheat, I think you ought to put cheat on your taxes. I think that'd be better.
True story.
Yeah, if you cheat on your taxes. So anyway, but now you're from down here in South Carolina. You're from, what is the name of the city you're from?
I come from a little town called 96, South Carolina, and I toy around with it, telling everybody, you know, we had 2 red lights, a Hardee's, and a Piggly Wiggly, and, you know, I'm no stranger to slinging square bills and stretching barbed wire.
Good Lord, man. It's 96. Now, what was it named after? Like 95 or what?
Well, legend has it that there was a Indian maiden who rode 96 miles just north of Charleston to warn her colonist boyfriend that the British were attacking.
Oh, there you go.
And she went down there and got him. They came back and ended up losing the fight at the fort anyway. but it was named because she was the one who actually sounded kind of like a Paul Revere moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, neat.
Yeah. But now you're still working. There's a lot of these musicians out here that's just sitting at the house twiddling their thumb, but you got some shows coming up, man. That's really cool. So you've been blessed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. It was really good to, actually get some calls and start doing. A lot of it's, some VFW type shows and some local establishments, just looking for live music. I really think there's a craving for live music right now. And I was having a conversation earlier this morning. I think, your smaller venues are probably going to come back first quarter of 2021. But, unfortunately, arena shows maybe by fourth quarter of 2021. So, the great thing about it is, it's kind of leveled the playing field out. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And that's what I'm really excited about, especially with this new single I got coming out called All in the Same Boat. We're dropping it. October 30th is the release date, but it goes on pre-order October 17th. And the hook to the song's like, you know what? Life sucks really bad, but we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
And that's the hook to the song. So I don't think I could have picked a better time to release it. So I'm really excited about that also.
I just think on life, I kind of think about it's all on a big old ship. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like a Titanic. And some of us is done gone under and others is hanging on the top of her, waiting. So here I'm hanging on. We'll see what happens on that. But now you do a lot of stuff with the veterans. That's one thing I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I do. Anytime somebody from a veteran group, whether it's a VFW, like right now I'm doing a lot of stuff with Irreverent Warriors out of Nashville. We go out and we play shows and try to, like the one on November 13th I've got, we're doing a fundraiser down in Columbia, Tennessee at a bar called Boondocks.
Right.
And it's a fundraiser to build a VFW in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Right.
And they've got a 5-acre lot and they're trying to raise the cash to actually build a brick and mortar facility. But even outside the veterans and that, it's funny you bring that up because next year, it was supposed to launch this year in 2021. Myself and my team, we're developing something called a Freedom Tour.
Right.
And what this Freedom Tour is we're going to go in. We're attached to a 501c3 called Crosswinds Foundation, Faith and Culture, out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Right.
And we're going to take off and we're going to play any VFW and American Legion in the Southeast and the U.S. that'll have us. And with that, we're going to tie a mission to it called Centers of Hope. And what Centers of Hope is a 10-week curriculum for people who are suffering from PTSD or moral injury or moral trauma, and in between the intermission between the acts, we're going to go through that curriculum in hopes that the VFW will put a counselor in place and then have people teach about moral injury and PTSD.
That's a big deal. How long was you in the military?
I did 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did 4 years and signed out and decided I wanted to bend strings and write songs.
Yeah. So it's working out pretty good. 10 years. I like I say, it's a 10-year deal up there. It's a great album that you got. So now if anybody's out there listening, I'm sure y'all need to pay attention to this guy because he actually is really cool. Even though he's friends with Gary Chapman, that's the only thing we got to hold against him. We started not to let you on, but you know how that goes. But how do they get up with you, man? Where you at? Where's your social media and all that good stuff?
You can find me ChrisTurnerMusic.com. It's got my Instagram and Twitter. If you're looking for me on Instagram, it's Chris Turner Music. Twitter's at Chris Turner 96. Facebook is at CTurner 96. And you can find me at Chris Turner on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, any of all the main digital music distribution outlets.
Right. Well, that's a good deal, man. I appreciate you doing this. So now tell us something. You've been playing, I'm sure you've been in Nashville for 10 years going, and you started out kind of like everybody else on the ground floor.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're at the verge, I think, of actually hitting the big time. Are you gonna call back here when you do?
Oh, man, absolutely.
Okay.
That's one thing about me is, I never forget where I come from. And, you talk about hitting the big time. I've told people this a lot. For me, I've already made it. I've been fortunate enough to open for some of my biggest musical influences.
Who's that? Tell us who that is. Who?
What?
Not you.
Who's your biggest influence? Let's hear it. I want to hear you opened up for.
Oh, my biggest influence is Waylon and Cash.
Oh, there you go.
But unfortunately, I couldn't open for those guys.
No, I know how that is.
But, I've had the chance to play with Darryl Worley and Aaron Tippin, people that I listened to growing up on the radio, and Tracy Lawrence, Craig Campbell.
There you go.
The latest big show we did a show with Cody Johnson down in Augusta at the Country Club.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a really fun show. So, to be able to do that, and I was told before I moved, I actually, believe it or not, I won a lunch with Dirk Bentley on a radio show.
Oh.
Actually, with the 100 out of Greenville, Greenville, South Carolina. And while we were in there, I was talking to him. I was like, "So, man, tell me what kind of advice do you have for a guy who's a singer-songwriter?" He's like, "Man, you got to get to Nashville." I'm like, "Really?" He's like, "Man, Nashville's a Monday through Thursday town. You can't just go up there and do it on weekends."
Yeah.
So I loaded up, moved to Nashville, and he's exactly right, because it's all about being in the scene and networking and finding other writers and like-minded people, and it's about building a team that believe in the platform that you're trying to build and just getting affiliated with it. And that was probably the best advice I ever had.
Right.
And I've had the opportunity to be fortunate and be blessed to be able to do it, and I'm really stoked about what the future has to hold for 2021.
Well, it's looking good, man. I love your music, no doubt about it. So anyway, y'all need to pay attention to this young man we've got, because he is going to be rocking and rolling, I'm sure. Well, not country and rolling, but we have got to get off because our time is just about up. But tell us one more time how we get up with you.
Come find me at christurnermusic.com, Instagram, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, all your major social media outlets and major digital distribution outlets.
Well, man, I sure appreciate you calling in. I ain't no doubt about it. We'll have you back on here another day or two. Keep up and see what's going on.
Man, I appreciate y'all for having me.
He's got a
so
really interesting bio. You should go read it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
it's really cool. So anyway. Folks, don't forget you can listen online anywhere in the world at WJULradio.com. That is WJULradio.com. Or you can listen live at Lake 97.7 WJUL. And don't forget, we're going to be uploading this to the YouTube channel and our Facebook page. So just go to the Morning Dish. You can listen to the show again and give us a like and give us a share. We appreciate it.